In pink and right on the beach. The closets are even stocked with life-sized Barbie dress-up outfits. The life-size dream house is available to rent for only $60 a night on Airbnb. One lucky fan and 3 friends can also book a very special 2-night getaway. Bookings open on October 23rd, so set the alarm and be sure to book that dream.
Do you have to bring Ken along, or?
I don't. That's a good question.
That's a pretty cool thing, though. Again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now. And right now at 5, as the United Auto Workers and General Motors dive further into negotiations, we'll meet the Wisconsin natives commuting hundreds of miles to join in.
Plus, a home invasion in a small Dane County town has residents worried what neighbors are saying about this crime.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Staying with us, Eric and Susan are off. We are learning more details about the deal to end the GM strike.
That's right. According to the Detroit Free Press, the proposed tentative agreement is a 4-year contract. United Automobile Workers, represented GM workers, will get a bonus of $11,000 upon ratification of this deal. By September of 2023, all permanent manufacturing employees will earn $32.32 an hour. The council voted that 46,000 union strikers would stay on strike at GM facilities until membership ratified that agreement.
And this strike is also impacting the nearly 100 Wisconsin residents who still commute to work at General Motors in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Rock County reporter Adam Duxter made that trip to the picket line where he met 3 former Janesville GM employees.
Well, today marks day 32 in the 5th week of a national labor stoppage. And while workers here in Fort Wayne, Indiana are continuing to picket, some of them are coming from further than others.
Let's get a few honkers.
Tom Hun and Mark Hare are just 2 of the 4,000 people striking weekly in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah, you just try to pass the time, make it go as quick as you can, talk to guys. We just tell stories.
The 2 have been with General Motors for decades, although their journey did not start here, but rather here at the corner of Jackson and Delavan in Janesville. Mark can still remember his first day on the job.
It was a huge, huge building, and I thought, what did I get myself into? Am I going to be able to find where I even go in this place?
Well, Tom can remember his last.
Just a lot of uncertainty. Nobody really knew what was going to happen.
Eventually, the 2 made the decision to continue their GM careers, 2 states away in Fort Wayne.
It was whatever you have to do. We would make the best decision together for the family and go from there. We chose to do this. But it's stressful.
During the week, they live here. Others who do the same will share an apartment, using the weekends to drive home to their families in southern Wisconsin.
I think about it's going to be a long ride back home tonight afterwards.
The camaraderie first built on the Janesville assembly lines, now on display on a different kind of line, nearly 300 miles from home.
Adam Duxter reporting for us there. Both her and Hun say that General Motors is something they value dearly because it's given them the opportunity to support their families, and that while they can't bring back the plant in Janesville, they are fighting for the future of that plant in Fort Wayne.
Janesville police say a woman is in custody after shooting her estranged husband in the face. Police say 43-year-old Nova Suarez is tentatively facing attempted first-degree intentional homicide charges. Rock County Dispatch says it happened around 9:40 at Blackhawk Community Credit Union on Center Avenue. Police say a 48-year-old man was at the ATM when he noticed a silver van approaching him. The man says he saw Suarez inside the van before hearing a gunshot and realizing he'd been shot. He was treated for non-life-threatening injuries.
A former West High School security assistant is fighting his termination after using the N-word in an altercation with a student. Marlon Anderson says he only used the N-word, telling the student to stop calling him that. Now, he says the student used several expletives, including the N-word, at least 15 times. Anderson explains he was trying to be direct when using that term to get the student to stop.
I made a conscious decision to address the word because it is an epidemic. Our kids use it just every day.
The Board of Education responded within the last couple of hours, saying in part that language has no place in schools, but due to the complexity of this situation, they will take a closer look at Anderson's termination. Now, the board president has requested an item be added to the next agenda to address this issue. At 6, Madeline O'Neill is live to tell us why Anderson thinks the district's zero tolerance policy should be changed and what he is doing to get his job back.
Let's get a look now at your first alert weather. Meteorologist Chris Reese on the weather patio. Hi, Chris.
Hey, guys, do you know what? After the cloud cover rolled in around noon, we are now seeing the return of some sunshine. Just in time for the sun to get ready to set on us. But hey, it's still nice out there. 51 is the temperature right now. We're seeing a light wind coming out of the north and west at about 5 miles per hour. That's brought in some of that drier air that's helping push this cloud cover along and on away from us. 54, that's the temperature right now over in Janesville. Boscobel coming in at 57. They have a friend in La Crosse also at 57 right now. Here's visible cloud track throughout the day. Just as the clouds begin to move out early, you saw that next cloud deck pop on up. Now that's moving off towards the east, and that means we'll be mostly clear as we head towards tonight. Temperatures will be falling into the upper 30s. We'll be talking about the rest of the week along with the rain chance of the weekend coming up in Maine weather.
All right, Chris, thank you.
A home invasion overnight has neighbors in the town of Westport on high alert.
And it's serving as yet another reminder from the Dane County Sheriff's Office that keeping any doors unlocked is not a good idea. Rose Schmidt tells us what happened and what you can do to prevent this crime.
Well, unfortunately, no community, no town, no neighborhood in Dane County has been untouched by home invasions and thefts from unlocked cars. Now there's a new awareness in a town of Westport subdivision that neighbors say hasn't been targeted before. As Sheldon Shaw works out in his yard, he's thinking about ways not just to make his home more beautiful, but also safer.
I've been toying with the idea of getting a couple of cameras. And now this incident last night convinced me that probably in the next week or so I'm going to have a couple of cameras on the house.
Sheldon lives in the town of Westport, just a few homes down from where deputies say they responded to a home invasion on River Edge Road around 3:45 Thursday morning.
We've been fortunate that we haven't really had a lot of problems in this particular, subdivision for many, many years.
This is not something Sheldon has experienced in his 37 years living in this neighborhood. But unfortunately, for the rest of the county, home invasions aren't anything new.
In the case of the Sheriff's Office investigations, they seem to be targeting rural subdivisions, places where they can go to a number of homes at once.
The Dane County Sheriff's Office says the group of suspects is looking for easy targets, testing garage and car doors to find ones that are unlocked. So their advice, come up with a new routine that involves repeatedly checking that your home is secure.
One thing that we've suggested is maybe setting an alarm on your phone every night to remind yourself to go out and make sure all those things are done.
She also recommends keeping your lights on at night and making sure you're keeping an eye on your neighborhood, not just to protect yourself, but your neighbors as well.
A couple hours this morning that I've been out working in the yard, neighbors have gone by, and a couple of them expressed the same opinion that I have. Guess we got to get Ring doorbells or cameras, things like that.
In this home invasion, the burglars used a garage door from an unlocked car in the driveway. The victims woke up this morning to the sounds of the suspects in their home, and they got away with car keys and a wallet. The Sheriff's Office is also asking anyone with home security video to share it with them, and also trying to catch some of these people who did this.
Feels like the same story over and over again.
Same over and over.
Yeah.
Lock the doors.
Yeah, just do it. It could be you next.
Thank you, Rose. A man is facing a tentative disorderly conduct charge after an incident in downtown Madison yesterday afternoon. Firefighters called Madison police after seeing a shirtless, shoeless man attacking someone on State Street. An officer found 28-year-old Brian Phillips with blood on his back, forearms and face, and was screaming profanities. Police said Phillips was spitting at the first responders, so he was placed in a spit hood to protect others. After being cleared at the hospital, he was taken to jail on tentative charges of disorderly conduct, resisting police, and on a probation hold.
A fifth person is behind bars this evening in connection with a black market vaping operation in Kenosha County. A 22-year-old Racine man is now accused of working for that large-scale operation. Prosecutors say a mom and her two sons employed about 10 people who manufactured vape cartridges out of a rented condo and a real estate office using THC oil bought in California. Authorities say that business made up to 5,000 cartridges a day, selling for $16 a piece.
A bill to rename a post office in Sun Prairie in honor of fallen firefighter Captain Corey Barr has passed the U.S. House of Representatives. The Senate passed bipartisan legislation earlier this summer to make the change. Barr died when a gas leak caused an explosion in downtown Sun Prairie in July of last year. The explosion destroyed several buildings downtown. Barr is credited with evacuating more than 100 people from the affected area before the explosion erupted. Barr was the only person to die in the explosion. He is survived by a wife and twin daughters. Demonstrations in Madison are helping people experience autonomous vehicles. Mid-America Associations of State Transportation Officials are focusing on partnering opportunities on the developing technology of automated vehicles right here in Madison. Perrone Robotics, based out of Virginia, brought their automated vehicle shuttle, Tony, to Madison today. Officials at Perrone Robotics say this technology would be great for game days in Madison.
If you don't have to pay for the driver, then this becomes economically feasible very quickly, right? Because if it's just constantly running, and you know that it's always paying attention, and you know that it's not sleeping, and you know that it's not affected by something, then it's a safe solution, and it can be very convenient for a society, for a town.
The automated vehicles also include something called DSRC, which is technology that talks to traffic lights and traffic meters that help regulate traffic flow.
The University of Wisconsin-Madison was one of 8 institutions named as a platinum-level bicycle-friendly university. This by the League of American Bicyclists. The Bicycle-Friendly University program recognizes 208 colleges and universities, giving them bronze, silver, gold, and platinum designations. That platinum level indicates that the university has strong bicycling programs, active campuses, and local advocacy groups and student clubs that support cycling. Our Coats for Kids distribution is underway. Our friends Susan Simon, Josh Spreiter, and Hattie McLean volunteered this morning at the Community Action Coalition on Madison's Far East Side. Volunteers have received more than 4,400 coats, as well as a number of hat and glove donations, but they could use even more.
If people are able to continue to donate kids' coats, that would be great, especially boys and girls like large and medium sizes. We have a lot less of those.
The organization is also looking for more volunteers to distribute coats. If you would like to help, you can head to volunteeryourtime.org and search for Coats for Kids.
Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, the Trump administration makes a major announcement to stop the violence in northern Syria.
And coming up tonight at 6, Wisconsin's largest children's entertainment company now faces legal action from some of its employees. We'll tell you exactly what's going on at 6.
And here's a look at Wall Street on this Thursday. The Dow up almost 24 points, the NASDAQ gaining 32, and the S&P 500 was up 8. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill and voters in Maryland continue to mourn the loss this afternoon of well-known Congressman Elijah Cummings.
The 68-year-old Democrat died of complications from long-standing health challenges. The White House flag was lowered to half-staff in tribute to the Maryland congressman. He was first elected to Congress in 1996. When Democrats won back the House in 2018, he became chair of the powerful House Oversight Committee, one of the committees leading the House impeachment inquiry.
Counted close friends and admirers from all across the political spectrum.
We've all lost a friend. I'm devastated by the loss.
Cummings and President Trump were often critical of each other, but the president offered his warm condolences, tweeting, "I got to see firsthand the strength, passion, and wisdom of this highly respected political leader."
The White House is declaring victory this afternoon after a ceasefire agreement was reached between the U.S. and Turkish officials, although Turkey's foreign minister says it's a pause, not a ceasefire. President Trump praised the vice president and secretary of state after they announced an agreement with the Turkish president, to temporarily end fighting in northern Syria. Vice President Pence says fighting will stop for the next 120 hours in order to withdraw Kurdish forces from that area. The deal also includes a plan for the U.S. and Turkey to coordinate the detention of ISIS prisoners. President Trump called for the withdrawal of U.S. troops from northern Syria over a week ago, which led to the invasion of Turkish forces. The White House, meanwhile, says it has chosen President Trump's golf resort in Miami as the site for next year's Group of Seven summits. That's the G7 summit. The idea of holding the event June 10th through 12th at the president's resort has been criticized already by ethics watchdogs. The president has said the resort is close to the airport, offers plenty of hotel rooms and separate buildings for each delegation. When the United States has hosted the summit before, it's been held in Puerto Rico, Williamsburg, Virginia, Houston, Denver, Georgia, and Camp David, the presidential retreat in Maryland.
The man who sued a conspiracy theorist in Dane County court over claims the shootings at Sandy Hook was a hoax is continuing his life mission after winning his case this week. We reported on the $450,000 verdict earlier this week. The jury ordered James Fetzer to pay that amount for defaming Lenny Posner, a dad whose 6-year-old son was killed in the shooting. In an exclusive interview with CBS This Morning, Posner explained why he still works to protect other victims of tragedy from harassment online.
Most people probably would have just walked away, and you didn't.
I never thought I had the option to walk away.
Because
that was my life now. The father of a murdered child and the name associated to an online conspiracy theory.
Posner's organization called the Honor Network continues to confront misinformation online and push social media and video platforms to remove hoax claims from their sites.
Chicago teachers are on strike after failing to reach a contract deal with the nation's third largest school district. Teachers walked the picket line today after the Chicago Teachers Union said that its 25,000 members would not return to classrooms. The strike comes after months of negotiations between the union and Chicago Public Schools failed to come to an agreement over pay, benefits, class size, and teacher preparation time.
Let's get a look now at your first alert weather. Meteorologist Chris Reese has your forecast and our fall leaf report.
Yeah, of course. I'm always looking at the fall colors, especially this time of the year. We're starting to see more of them show up around Madison. Now, according to the fall color report from Travel, Wisconsin, a lot of the colors throughout Dane County are near peak, and that peak is likely just about a week or two away. Here's a map of Wisconsin as a whole. Notice that near peak color now showing up more towards southern Wisconsin and the Illinois state line. Still in peak throughout central Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin. We're seeing more and more of those leaves that are past peak. And now, if it hasn't happened already, a lot of these trees have reached the point where the leaves are ready to come on down. And if you have a chance to get out and rake tonight, I think it's one of the best chances to do it. It's not raining. Our winds are fairly light. The ground is certainly dry. But as we look forward through time, we'll stay dry on Friday. I just think the winds are going to get gusty. That's going to create just a little bit of a problem. By Saturday, we'll have to watch the possibility of some showers. Then you have a damp ground, and then you're also looking at that possibility of some gusty winds. So, yes, raking is something that I'll be updating the forecast for sure as we go through the next couple weeks to a month. The temperature today topped out right around 52. It would have been warmer But we had some clouds develop right around noon. Those are just now starting to move on out, but it's just in time for the day to begin to cool on down. 51 the temperature right now. We're seeing those winds coming out of the north and west at about 5 miles per hour. Some 40s also do continue to show up in Wisconsin Dells at 49 right now. Get this, though. This is where they had more of that sunshine, especially towards the west. They're still warmer. 54 in Lone Rock, Boscobel at 57, La Crosse also at 57 right now. But I do have to show visible cloud track. Just as we started to see that main deck of cloud cover from this morning move away, there was a lower deck of cloud cover that just popped up underneath that sunlight. That's what's kept things gray this afternoon. That is until now. But even still, back towards the west, they just basked in the sunshine all day long and enjoyed it. There's certainly no rain for us to track either. So we are going to be staying dry. This is all thanks to high pressure that is in control. I think it stays in control as we head into tomorrow as well. What we're watching, though, that's going to shake things up just a little bit is this new area of low pressure that's going to be developing over the high plains. That will likely lead to rain chances as we head into your Saturday, but still, the air is fairly dry, so there's not going to be a ton of rain associated with it. Here we are getting in a little bit of moisture by Friday. That's all thanks to those winds coming out of the south, and then here's that little rain chance early on Saturday, and then some other drier air moves in. Colder air is going to move in by the time this system arrives as we head into your Monday. But let's time things out for the last day of the work week. We're going to start things out into the upper 30s tomorrow morning. Some patchy frost is something that is going to be possible. We'll warm up towards 62 in the afternoon. I think we'll see some clouds around. It won't be completely clear, but it's going to be a fairly nice day. Then we watch the overnight hours. Temperatures fall into the 40s. You're waking up Saturday morning in the 40s. More of that cloud cover moves in. And you see that line of showers that likely begins to develop. I think that'll slowly move on through as we go through the day. Won't be a washout, but we'll see those clouds around at least until the afternoon. That will bring a little cold front with it. We'll see that first little round of cooler air move in on Sunday, a deeper round of cooler air moving in with that secondary system on Monday. That allows some cooler temperatures to pour in for the middle of the week. And then perhaps there's a bigger shot of some cold by the time we head towards the end of the week. Watch how these temperatures all kind of take steps down. In fact, it's very possible that we'll begin to see those temperatures into the low 40s by the time we get you towards this time next week. We look ahead, though, and generally, other than 3 relatively minor rain chances, I do think our overall stretch throughout the next 10 days is going to be drier, cooler, but yes, drier, which is something we certainly all need. It's good for the roads. Speaking of them, we're watching the traffic as well. This is the Beltline at John Nolan right now, and of course, we do have high volume. One of the things that's creating some issues is we do have a stalled vehicle at Rimrock, and so that's slowing things down towards about 17 miles per hour in that direction. Otherwise, it's just your normal evening commute. Of course, there are going to be some delays. We're watching delays outbound on Park Street over towards Fish Hatchery right now. Same with outbound Regent Street. Make sure you pack your patience, and just drive safely as you head home today.
All right, we will. Thank you, Chris. Ahead on News 3 now at 5, how a traffic stop in Milwaukee turned into a gift that a single mother will never forget. That's after the break. Well, a single mom was pulled over by a Milwaukee police officer on Saturday for not having proper registration.
I'm smiling because this might be my favorite story of the day. The traffic stop ended with a verbal warning and gifts she will remember forever. Officer Kevin Zimmerman pulled Andrella Jackson over because she didn't have proper plates. Jackson's 2 young daughters were in the car, but they weren't in car seats. So Jackson says when she got pulled over, she thought she'd end up with multiple tickets. Instead, though, she was blessed with 2 new car seats for her 2 little girls.
At that point, I thought about my kids. And I knew if I wasn't able to afford it, I would hope somebody would help me out.
It was loving, sweet. I really appreciate it, though, because, like, he didn't have to do that. I could have got 3 tickets instead of car seats.
Officer Zimmerman even installed those car seats, as you can see here, and taught Jackson how to do it herself.
Not all heroes wear capes.
No kidding.
Another check of our weather when we come back.
Very fall for us, and the weather outside feeling pretty fall, too.
Certainly the weather that's typical of this time of the year. That's what we're going to see, although I do think these temperatures, once we get past Monday, are actually going to slide below average. Our average high right now, 59. So as we go through the next 3 days, our average high is going to be a couple degrees warmer than normal, but the bottom falls out, I guess. By the time we get you towards next week, temperatures really start to struggle to get out of the 40s, and they don't by next weekend.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. The CBS Evening News is next, followed by News 3 at 6. Have yourselves a good evening.